내 모습全て消すてられたら笑って生きることが楽になるのまた胸が痛くなるからもう何も言わないでよ
I know that I'm always safe with you, my guardian. Ngumiti lang si Terrence at bahagyang pinisil ang palad niya. He want the whole night to be great, memorable for both of them. Gusto nitong iparamdam kay Jeannie kung gaano ito kaimportante. Hindi maipaliwanag ni Jeannie ang kasiyahang nararamdaman niya sa mga sandaling iyon. She never felt that joy and excitement before. Pakiramdam niya, lalabas na ang puso niya sa sobrang bilis ng pintig niyon. Muli siya nitong hinalikan sa mga labi. Habang nakapiring ang mga mata, pagkatapos ay inalalayan siya nito sa paglalakad. Sinadyasan ni Terrence ang mga waiters na halatang magiliong naghihintay sa kanilang pagdating. At nang masiguradong okay na ang lahat, ay tinanggal nito ang pagkakatakip sa kanyang mga mata. Nandito na tayo, sweetheart. Jeannie hold her breath habang ang mga mata ay nakamasid sa kagandahan ng paligid. The place are indeed breathtaking, great and magnificent. Tila nabigyan ng buhay ang mga eksenang nababasa niya sa mga libro ng pag-ibig dahil sa namamalas niya ngayon. Napatingin siya sa pulang carpet na kinatatayuan niya na kung saan ay sinadyang isabog doon ang mga nagkalat na pulang rosas. Sa gitnang bahagi naman ay ang bilugang mesa kung saan nakahanda ang lahat ng mga paborito niyang putahe. Kasabay din yun ang romantikong kanta para sa dalawang pusong nagmamahalan. OMG! Is this for real? Hindi niya maiwasang itanong sa sarili. Hindi niya napigilan ang pangingilid ng luha sa magkabilang sulok ng kanyang mga mata. Marahil ay dahil sa kaligayahang nadarama. Don't you like the place, sweetheart? Ani ni Terrence na mabilis na pinahid ang mga luha sa pisngi niya. Sira, I like it and I love it. Tell me, did you plan this? Kailan pa? Sunod-sunod na tanong niya. Yes, sweetheart. Binayaran ko ang isang gabing serbisyo ng may-ari nitong restaurant for our first special and memorable dinner date. Lalong nalugod ang puso ni Jeannie sa tinurang iyon ni Terrence. Why did you not tell me? Hindi na surprise kung sinabi ko sa'yo, di ba? Pero ipinagluto kita. Sumimangot siya. Natawa si Terrence nang maalala ang mga pagkaing sunog na inihanda niya para dito. At ano naman ang nakakatawa? Nagkasimangot pa ring asik niya. Kahit tila alam na niya ang dahilan ng pagtawa nito, kahit siya ay hindi rin magagawang tikman ang mga niluto niya. Kinabig siya nito at kinintala ng masuyong halik ang tungki ng kanyang ilong. Kahit sunog o hilaw pa, basta ikaw ang nagluto ay kakainin ko pa rin, sweetheart. Pero sayang naman ang paghahanda ko para sa date natin kung sa bahay tayo kakain, di ba? Paano kung hindi ako pumayag? No, I'll do everything para pumayag ka. Kahit buhatin pa kita patungo rito ilang babae na ba ang nasabihan mo niyan at nabigyan mo ng ganito karomantikong date? Nagsalubong ang kilay ni Terrence sa tanong niyang iyon, tila nag-isip pa ang gago. I think ikaw ang... Binitin sa ere ang naisambitin ng dila. Pang-ilan ako? Umingo siya. May insecurity sa boses niya. Hinigpitan ng binata ang pagkakayakap sa bewang niya upang lalong magdikit ang kanilang mga katawan. You're the very first time, sweetheart. Ikaw pa lang at ikaw lamang ang gusto kong makasama sa ganitong klaseng lugar. Kasunod nyon ay ang pagsakop nito sa mga labi niya na agad naman niyang tinugon. Pagkatapos ng mainit na halik na kanilang pinagsaluhan, ay ginayak siya nito patungo sa mesa na naghihintay sa kanilang pagdumog. You eat like a bird, sweetheart. Look at you. You're so thin. Kailangan mong kumain ng marami para magkalaman ka naman. Pamumuna pa nito sa kanya. Ito na rin mismo ang kusang naglagay ng pagkain sa pinggan niya na hindi rin niya pinahindian. Kahit pakiramdam niya ay busog na siya. She even know to herself na hindi siya payat. Biniyayaan lang siya ng magandang hubog ng katawan pero hindi pa rin niya maiwasang makaramdam ng insecurity. Bakit ba pagdating sa lalaking ito ay nagiging sensitibo siya? Gusto niya na siya lang ang pag-ukulan nito ng pansin. Are you saying na mas gusto mo pa ang mga matatabang babae? Muntik nang masamid si Terrence sa sinabi niyang iyon. Are you jealous, sweetheart? Tila nanunod yung anito. Magpapakataba ako if that's what you want. Seryosong tugon niya na biglang sumubo ng marami. Totoo naman iyon. She can do everything for Terrence. Manatili lamang ito sa tabi niya. You don't have to, sweetheart. I love everything in you. Either thin or fat. You don't have to change. Nagalak ang puso niya sa tinurang iyon ni Terrence. Hayon na naman ang pag-asang inukit sa dibdib niya. Pagkatapos nilang kumain ay niyaya siyang sumayaw ni Terrence na maagap naman niyang pinaunlakan. Sino ba naman siya para tanggihan ang paanyaya ng isang makisig at gwapong lalaki na tulad nito? Nakahawak ang palad ni Terrence sa bewang niya habang ang kamay naman nito ay nasa kanyang magkabilang balikat. Nagniningning ang mga matang nakatitig sa isa't isa. Jean? Thank you for coming in my life. Terrence? Pakiramdam niya ay sasabog na ang dibdib niya sa bilis ng kabog niyon. Nakahanda akong maghintay kung kailan mo ako matutunang. Iniharang niya ang isang daliri sa mga labi ni Terrence. You don't have to, Terrence. Humugot siya ng hininga at pinakiramdamang muli ang pintig ng puso niya. Mahal kita. You do? Tila namamalikmat ang tanong nito sa kanya na halatang hindi makapaniwala. She just nodded as a reply. Oh, Jane. Ang sunod niyang naramdaman ay ang paghigpit ng yakap nito sa likod niya at ang paglalapat ng kanilang mga labi. Wala nang dahilan para ikailan niya sa sarili kung gaano niya ito kamahal. Thank you for the lovely dinner, sweetheart. Nakayakap na wika ni Terrence. Nasa tapat na sila ngayon ng silid niya. Ako ang dapat magpasalamat. Thank you for tonight. I really had fun. She smiled genuinely. Terrence smiled at her adoringly, as if he couldn't help himself. He slid one hand in her nape and lowered his head, letting his warm lips cover her. Jeannie raised her hand voluntarily and responded to his kisses. She felt his tongue inside her mouth moving and tickling hers. Jeannie strained towards him with ravenous yearning as his tongue continued stroking, tangling and mating hers in a bewitching rhythm. When his hand rose to cup her breast, a stark reminder of how easily he could arouse her yearning. Ang kauna-unahang lalaking nagpapadama sa kanya ng kakaibang kiliti, but she doesn't care at all. All she wants is to feel him and to be with him. She almost lost nang biglang putulin ni Terrence ang kaluwalhati ang nadarama niya. Good night, sweetheart. He took a hard breath na tila hirap na hirap. Pero ang mga mata ay hindi humihiwalay sa pagkakatitig sa kanyang mga labi. Ang mga palad nito'y nananatili sa kanyang likod. Gustong magalit ni Jeannie dahil bigla itong tumigil sa paghalik sa kanya pero pinigil niya ang sarili. Good night, Terrence. Kagat ang iba pang labing tugon niya. Don't do that, sweetheart. It makes me want to kiss you again. He said and he meant to. Get inside or else. His voice is rage trying to restrain himself not to kiss her again and again. Or else what? Nangaakit na anya. Nilaro-laro ng daliri ang butones ng pulo ng binata pababa sa bandang tiyan nito. He groaned. Her touch is like a burning coal flaming inside him. Is she trying to seduce him? Kung kanina ay nagtitimpi si Terrence, hindi na nito may papangakong mag-behave muli once their lips meet again. Jane, you need to get inside. Malalim ng gabi. His face is hard with need. His eyes are light with dark fire na tila handang dumakma ng katunggali anumang sandali. You didn't answer me yet. Or else what? Tila waring narinig na ulit niya. Mercy. Muli itong nagpakawala ng hangin sa dibdib. Do you really wanna know why I want you to get inside your room, sweetheart? The desire she saw in his eyes made her heart beat so fast. She then suddenly gasped when Terrence pulled her more closer to him. To Terrence! She felt the sudden burn in her both cheeks when she felt his hard masculinity pointing into her navel. Ngayon niya naunawaan ang nais nitong tukuyin pero tila naghatid iyon ng kakaibang ligalig sa kanyang pagkababae. Her panties have been longing for his. I can still bear the torment, sweetheart, unless you give me the reason to provoke that. His voice is thick and warm. His eyes is full of lust and desire of wanting her so much, pero naroon din ang matinding pagpipigil nito sa sarili. Her throat suddenly dried. Her mind gave her a warning of what would happen next if she won't push him away. Pero nauna nang dumikta ang pagkagusto niyang madama ang masilang parteng iyon ng katawan ni Terrence. Why don't you set that lust free? He frowned, staring at her. Jane. His tone is husky. Don't try me, lady. As the response, Jeannie smiled at him deliberately. Her finger curled into his nape, glorifying in the luxurious heat of his skin as she complied with the heated request of wanting his kiss yearningly. Terrence could no longer bear the torment. He invades her mouth, thrusting and stroking his tongue to hers. He kissed her passionately with strong desire. I want that thing poking my belly, Terrence, she said with full passion in her eyes. You have no idea, my sweet. He smiled and kissed her lips again. Mariin, marubdob at masibasib na puno ng pananabik ang mga halik nito sa kanya. She moaned and closed her eyes. Humigpit din ang pagkakayakap niya sa batok ni Terrence. Ang sensasyong dulot ng mga halik nito ay tuluyang nagpapawala ng katinuan niya. Terrence angled his head, pressed more deeper and deepened the kiss, as if re-familiarizing himself with her taste, learning her texture, his tongue probing her inner recess, exploring. Napasinghap siya at napaangat ang kanyang mga paa nang maramdaman ang mga palad ni Terrence sa pang-upong bahagi ng kanyang katawan, pressing her ass nang may panggigigil. His masculinity is getting harder that made her feel wanting him more, as if she wanted to touch him, as if she was starving for him. Gosh, ganito ba talaga ang epekto ng lalaking ito sa katawan niya? I want you, sweetheart, he said in between their kisses. He's not leaving her mouth even for 1 second. I want you too, Terrence. Tila halamang nauuhaw sa ulan na tugon niya. Naramdaman ni Jeannie ang pag-angat ng kanyang katawan habang ang kanilang mga labi ay nanatiling magkalapat at kung paano sila nakapasok ng ganoong kabilis sa kanyang silid ay hindi na niya namalayan. Ang sunod niyang naramdaman ay ang marahang paglapag ni Terrence sa kanya sa paanan ng kama. He was panting a little while looking at her closely. You're adorable, beautiful and gorgeous as what I had imagined you would be, sweetheart. She suddenly blushed. The Greek god finds her that way and she loved it the way he said those words. And then, he kissed her again with unrestrained passion, savagely and ravenously as she responded the same way. His hands started to feel her allured, caressing and touching her velvet skin freely. Naglakbay sa bawat parte ng masisilang bahagi ng kanyang katawan. Pakiramdam ni Jeannie ay umaapoy ang bawat nadadaanan ng palad nito sa kanyang kalambutan. Habol niya ang paghinga ng iwan ni Terrence ang kanyang mga labi. His lips crawled down to her neck towards her cleavage, crossing between her shoulder. She moaned when she felt his lips kissing and sucking the most sensitive peak like a bee, sipping the sweet liquid from the nectar while his hot palm caressing the other one. At nang manggigil, ay pinagkagat-kagat ng hindi naman mariin. Masarap na masakit na nagpapadama kay Jeannie ng ibayong kiliti. At kung paanong kay bilis na kalag ni Terrence ang kanyang kasuotan, ay hindi niya namalayan, dulot ng sensasyong ipinapalasap nito sa kanya. Deliberately, tinaas niya ang mga kamay and reached for him eagerly, kahalintulad ng isang batang paslit na sabik na sabik. Napasinghap siya when she felt his hot finger rubbing her sex, his lips still kissing down to her stomach towards his real prospect, at nang maabot ng mga labing gutom ang bulaklak ng paraiso, ay lumakaiyon ng malakas na ungol kay Jeannie. At the first brush of his tongue on her clit, her whole body arched and shook. She would not been holding her hips in an iron grip, loving her and kissing her tenderly, thrusting and stroking his tongue into her black delta. He licked, sucked and tortured her with a skill that left her reeling and hanging on for dear life. It was indeed an unusual feeling with a great pleasure that she never felt before. She wanted to scream and yell of such sensation, yet she wanted more than that feeling. Nakakabaliw, nakakawala ng katinuan ang ginagawa nito sa kanya. Hindi niya alam kung saan kakapit, dulot ng ligayang ipinapalasap sa kanya ni Terrence. Oh, she muttered helplessly. Inangkla niya ang magkabila niyang binti sa mga balikat ni Terrence, na lalong nagpasawa sa lalaki upang lalong lasapin ang sarap at bango ng kanyang hiyas. At nang magsawa sa kakasipsip sa katas ng paraiso, ay ipinantay nito ang mukha sa kanya. His eyes are full of desire and longing of wanting her so much. He then stood up and undressed his own clothes na siyang nagsisilbing sagabal sa kanilang pag-iisa. Namilog ang kanyang mata nang makita ang nanggagalaiting sandata ni Terrence. She felt ashamed. She saw how hard him, and standing na lalong nagpabalisa sa pakiramdam niya. Iniwas niya ang paningin pero naging maagap si Terrence. Keep your eyes on me, sweetheart. I want you to see me, to know how much I want you. His voice is horny na tila wala nang makakaawat pa. Jeannie swallowed hard when she laid her eyes onto his hard masculinity that trembled her inside, lethally, a roused intensity that made fire roar through her body. Nasa mga mata niya ang pagsang-ayon na madama sa kaloob-looban ng katawan niya ang parting kahabaang iyon ni Terrence. Marahan itong tumabi sa kanya at muling pinang-abot ang kanilang mga labi. Napasinghap siya ng buong bigat nang idaga ni Terrence ang katawan nito sa kanya. He showered her all over with his kisses. Let me in, sweetheart. Mahinang bulong nito. He parted her legs and looked deep into her eyes. As he started thrusting and stroking inside her core, pinigil niya ang sarili na huwag mapasigaw when she felt the sharp pain. Terrence wanted to stop nang mapagtantong ito pa lang ang kauna-unahang panauhin niya, pero gustuhin mang tumigil ni Terrence ay hindi nito magawa. Sukdula na ang pagnanais na tuluyan siyang maangkin. Jane, I'm okay. I'll be gentle, sweetheart. Mahina ngunit may assurance na bulong nito. He buried her lips with his mouth at ipinagpatuloy ang nakanyang nasimulan, pero naging banayad ang kanyang pagkilos upang hindi niya ito gaanong masaktan. Sinikap ni Jeannie na huwag mapasigaw when she felt something rip down between her thighs sa unang pagtarak at pagbaon ni Terrence. He drove her dominantly. He moved above her with care and coaxed her body slowly, gently, until he firmly and completely felt his masculinity inside her. He groaned as he felt his manhood successfully inside hers. Doon pa lamang tumigil ang binata upang bigyan daan ang dalaga na pakibagayan ang bagong karanasan. Jane, he croaked, tension screaming through his body as he framed her face in gentle hands. I'm fine. That makes one of us, sweetheart. Jeannie didn't know what was in store for her, but she knew her body was screaming with need to find out. With a deep breath, because hell, no pain, no gain. He kissed her forehead, her eyelids, her nose, her cheeks, and her lips just to ease the searing pain na bumabahid sa maganda at maamo niyang mukha. She felt him utterly inside her, yet she still felt the harsh pain in her sex, but there is also something else, a wonderful wave of feeling. I'll over soon, sweetheart, he said huskily as he moved above her. He pulled out slowly and repeated the thrust hanggang sa tuluyang maglaho ang sakit na nararamdaman niya at napalitan iyon na makakaliyong sensasyon. Oh, Terrence, she moaned with pleasure. His pain quickly disappeared to be replaced by a feeling of phenomenal. Marahil, nang maramdaman ni Terrence na hindi na siya gaanong nasasaktan, ay binilisan nito ang bawat paghampas ng kahabaan nito sa kanyang pagkababae. Oh, yes, I like that, oh. Her head slammed back against the pillow, her fingers clenching hard in his hair as she held on for mercy. She felt surrounded by him, invaded by him, fulfilled by him as he ignited a burst of fire inside her. And when Terrence moved above her once again, Jeannie arched her back in response and rocked against him, which made Terrence drive upward and again with urgency. Oh, faster, Terrence. Terrence groaned with pleasure as he increased the momentum. Oh yes, give it to me, oh God. She was catching her breath as her lips rose up to meet him as he went on withdrawing, then sinking deep, plunging his hardness into the recesses of her body until she couldn't get any closer. Her moan turned to sob of need, a plead that seemed to inflame him. At nang maabot ang kaduluduluhan ng langit, hindi nagtagal ay pumulandalit na rin ang masaganang katas ng pagmamahal. Tumigil ito sa paggalaw, ngunit nanatili pa rin sa ibabaw niya. Parehong pawisan at hinihingal, nangingislap at nangungusap ang kanilang mga mata. Naroon ang di matatawarang kaligayahan. "Did I hurt, sweetheart?" He murmured huskily. Itinukod nito ang magkabilang siko upang hindi siya ganoon mabigatan. She shook her head and bit her lower lip bilang pagtugon. Damn that question. Of course, she was hurt but she loved this moment. Masarap na masakit. In fact, he made her completely woman. Walang anumang material ang makakapantay sa ligayang ipinadama nito sa kanya just a while ago. "I told you, don't do that. It makes me feel wanting you more." "Terrence," she gasped when she felt him alive again inside her. "Shall we?" Kasabay niyon, ang mabilis niyang paggalaw at pagpalit ng kanilang pwesto. Oh! Muling kumawala ang malakas niyang ungol nang makuha ang nais tukuyin ng binata. "You're torn, sweetheart. Don't worry, it's less pain now, and you'd like it more." He smiled gorgeously that made her blush. "I love the way you blush, sweetie." Kasunod niyon ay ang pag-angat ni Terrence ng balakang sanhi para mapasinghap si Jeannie. "Oh, sweetheart, you're so tight." He pulled and pushed his hardness that made her moan of wanting him more. Sunod-sunod ang pag-atake ni Terrence hanggang sa kusa siyang umindayog sa ibabaw nito, while his hand close to her breast pressing both of them. The rustling sound of the bed rapidly turned into the high speed. Their moan and groan of need vault together, burst and boost simultaneously. Nilakbay nila ang dako paroon at nilasap ang walang patid na kaligayahan hanggang sa kapwa sila manlupaypay.